What up, YouTube? What's going on, everybody, man? You guys already know who it is, man. It's your boy, Sports God TV, where we talk sports like religion. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I upload. Share the content. Jump in the comments. Let's get it cracking. So, I'm here to talk about my Washington Commanders, right? As we all know, the NFL football season is starting to get underway with the preseason. Teams have been in training camp and things of that nature. And there was a report coming out of Commanders Park today about Eric Bieniemy from players. They didn't specify what players, but it's players, plural, okay? Complaining about, or not really complaining, the right word was concerned with Coach Bieniemy's intensity. Now, he has been hired, obviously, coming from a well-seasoned franchise, championship formula type of franchise in the Kansas City Chiefs, who we know are at the top of the crop when it comes to NFL teams in this here league. And Eric Bieniemy was a huge part in that role as an offensive coordinator. He came to Washington to become the same when it comes to being an offensive coordinator. There has been many stories about Coach Bieniemy's approach to the game, his attention to detail, the things that he stressed about what he's trying to get accomplished when he's coaching. In his presser that he had when he first came here, he already put all that on the table. There was no secret that his approach was going to be the way his approach was. So I checked out Ron Rivera spoke to the media after the morning practice today. And that question was asked about Coach Bieniemy's approach. And the words, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, from Ron Rivera was basically that he liked what he's doing. The players did approach him about his philosophy or the intensity on how he conduct the practices, and he basically told them to go sit down with coach and see where he's coming from with that intensity and things of that nature. But he also said that it's a formula that he has done for a while, and obviously it's been a winning formula. And when you are a franchise that has been one of the most laughing stock franchises for decades, and when you talking a culture change, as what we have done, as far as the former owner Daniel Snyder being out the building after a terrible reign at the top of being the owner of the Washington Redskins / football team / Commanders, that's the culture change. Eric Bieniemy is setting a bar. When you come from under a tree of Andy Reid, coming from having a quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, an MVP quarterback, a top player in the league, when they just released the 2022 top players of 2022, guess who's number one? Easy guess, right? Patrick Mahomes, okay? So if Eric Bieniemy was able to implement his strategy and his attention to detail strategy to that franchise, yes, there have been some players that may have, don't agree with certain ways of how you do it. But listen, dude, you're not in Pee Wee League. You're not in junior high school or middle school. You're not in high school. You're not in college. You are a professional football player, a grown ass man, getting coaching and getting intensity and getting basic fundamentals coached to you on a daily basis. And in this case, it's Eric Bieniemy, okay? I've played football not to the highest level. I have to mention this again, and I have done it in previous videos. But I played all the sports: football, basketball, baseball. I ran track, I swam. I did it all. And I could say when I was on a field or on the hardwood floor or on a diamond on baseball, speaking of baseball, I feel like, I was him, and all the wonderful, tremendous coaches that I have played for and practiced for all my years of playing either sport, not once am I going to question their integrity or complain about the integrity or the intensity that they want to display on how they want things done. As a player, my job is to get better. And as far as I know, a coach that is on your butt like that and is pushing you to be great is what you need to actually become great, especially when you are a part of a franchise or have been within a franchise for an amount of time that has been a laughing stock of the NFL, National Football League. You get paid very handsomely to come in, do your job, pay attention to details, study film, practice hard. So when the game comes, it just naturally blends into what you have done in practice. Learning how to finish games, learning how to start games, learning how to maintain leads within a game, learning how to stay calm and focused during a game, and also when you're down. I just don't understand what the hell these guys got to complain about. What is your concern? What are you concerned about the way and the philosophy that Eric Bieniemy is coaching you guys? I mean, it sounds really soft coming from out of that locker room. Like I said, I don't know what players or what player is saying certain things to whomever, but at the same time, and I seen Eric Bieniemy's interview, and he basically said exactly what I said as far as he laid the foundation before in his presser. He told everyone what to expect. And if you're not ready to jump on the ship that is trying to right every wrong that's been with this franchise is a historical franchise. The Washington Redskins were a predominant force in the National Football League from the 80s to the early 90s, from the 80s basically, but the 90s, we won a Super Bowl as well. And then we have been up and down, and then for the most part has been a laughing stock for years. As a Washingtonian, a Washington, D.C. native, I have witnessed the great times here in Washington, D.C. with those ball clubs that we had. And then I've also seen the bad teams that we have had here in Washington, D.C., in the nation's capital. You understand? For players that get paid millions and millions of dollars, I don't care if you're a rookie on the team and you're complaining because you didn't come from the SEC, the Floridas, the Alabamas, the Tennessees, or what have you. Or you didn't come from the Big Ten, the Michigans, the Ohio States, and so forth. and you may have came from a smaller program. In the NFL, nobody cares. If you were good enough to make it to the NFL and have an opportunity to fight for a position to attain a spot on a football roster, and even if you don't make the roster, you work hard regardless, because you're putting things on tape that if you're not going to be a part of the practice squad, then you got film to get shopped around to 31 other teams, man. What is the complaint? What is the concern? The only thing I can see is it sounds really soft. I seen Tyreek Hill and chief and current chief players, like they trying to console their brothers. We know it's a brotherhood, but they like, just take it with a grain of salt, man. Listen to the details and this, that, and the third. And trust me, it's going to make things better. He's going to make things better here in Washington. But why does it have to come to this when you have players openly coming out and speaking to the media or whomever they're speaking to, talking about they are concerned about Eric Bieniemy's intensity? My dude, you're a professional athlete. You need somebody in your face on a daily basis. When you screw up, you need somebody in your face to let you know what you did wrong, so you can correct those mistakes. So when them game situations come, then you know how to deal with those certain situations, And so to me, man, I had to do a video about this, man. It just made me feel some type of way seeing these reports and, about the Commanders. I'm hearing a lot of things in camp that's going well. I'm hearing, they're picking up the terminology well. I'm hearing the tight ends are getting used in many ways, like they did in Kansas City with Kelsey, lining them up anywhere and everywhere on the field. And we have 3 really solid tight ends right now on that roster. Everybody has an opportunity to make a big play in this offense, for sure. Y'all jokers need to buckle up, man. Y'all ain't little boys, man. Y'all millionaires, man. But at the same time, man, you gotta perform like a millionaire, man. You ain't done nothing, man. You ain't got a bowl. You ain't even make the playoffs last year. You fought hard, but at the same time, Slim, this is Washington, D.C., man. We need to bring back the glory days of what this city used to experience. And I appreciate the tone that Eric Bieniemy is setting here in the nation's capital. It's your boy, Sports God TV. Drop something in the comments, man, so we can have a dialogue, man. Share the content. Jump in the comments. Let's get it cracking. And I'm out. Until the next time.